Welcome to the Oral History Podcast, which features stories from the oral history website voicesofoklahoma.com, where Oklahomans have given generously of their time to tell their life story for present-day listeners and for the generations to come. Our entire collection is available at voicesofoklahoma.com. By subscribing to our podcast, you will be notified of new Oklahoma oral history podcasts. So now listen to another interesting storyteller from voicesofoklahoma.com.
Our introduction to Ramona Reed begins with a tribute paid by the Grand Ole Opry to Ramona in November of 2020.
Tonight we want to take a moment to wish a very happy birthday to a special member of our Opry family, Miss Ramona Reed. Ramona was only 17 when she first sang here at the Grand Ole Opry. A year later, she became known as Martha White and made appearances every Friday and Saturday night here at the Opry as part of the Martha White portion of the show, and then every morning she was on WSM radio.
Ramona grew up on a farm near Talihina, Oklahoma, and at an early age was singing and yodeling. She went on to sing with many of the country music greats, including Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys. She performed at Cain's Ballroom in Tulsa many times with Bob and sang with Johnny Lee Wills at county fairs. Ramona Reed was voted into the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame in 2009. The induction class included Rocky Frisco and Carrie Underwood. It's hard to believe she's 90 years old as she tells her story for the oral history website, voicesofoklahoma.com.
Well, my name is John Early, and today's date is November 23rd, 2020. So, Ramona, would you state your full name, please?
Ramona June Reed Blair.
Okay, and your date of birth?
November 16th, 1930.
And so you've just celebrated a birthday. Your present age is?
Oh, gosh. Well, you figure it out.
You know, when we do oral history, it's given me confidence to ask a woman her age. But by this time, you should be real proud of the fact that you're 90 years old.
Well, thanks for broadcasting that to everyone.
I'm recording this in the offices of voicesofoklahoma.com. Where are you? Your home in what town? Where are you?
I'm living in Clayton, Oklahoma, and that's where I live. I have a home here.
All right.
But I was born and raised in Talihina, Oklahoma.
And that's down in the southeast part of Oklahoma. It's not far from Fort Smith, Arkansas, right?
Yeah, about 85 miles or something like that.
Right. Okay, your mother's name and maiden name, where she was born, what she did as she grew up.
Well, I think my mother was born in Talihina, but she grew up in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Her name was Elena Marie.
And what was she like, her personality? What was she like?
She was kind of a quiet person. She wasn't as outgoing as my dad was. Maybe she didn't have a chance around him.
Oh, yeah. And then your father's name?
Ben Reed.
Okay. And where did he live in that area too? Where did he live growing up?
He was born in Arkansas, but he moved to Oklahoma when he was 12 years old to the Buffalo Valley area. And he grew up, from about 12 years old on.
Yeah. What was his personality like?
Oh, he was very outgoing. Everybody loved him, and he loved everybody.
And then what did he do for a living?
A little bit of everything. And John, what did he do for a living?
Well, he was a rancher, wasn't he?
He was a rancher?
Farmer. Make a little moonshine sometimes.
Well, did you hear that? Said made a little moonshine sometimes. That was before my time, though.
All right. Did
he
raised Walker foxhounds. I mean, he paid lots of money for his foxhounds. Walker foxhounds. They were all registered.
Did either one of them have musical talent?
He did.
And what was it, in singing or playing instruments?
Well, he could sing pretty well, and he could yodel some. And the PTA ladies always wanted him to be in their show every year at Talihina.
Did he dance a little bit?
Oh yeah, he danced. They belonged to the Square Dance Club in Talihina. My folks did. But they'd start clapping, and that meant my daddy was supposed to get out and dance.
Oh,
They're clapping.
okay. Did you become a dancer?
No.
Yeah.
I can two-step.
Yeah. Right.
I took tapping when I was little, but I don't tap dance.
Yeah. Right. So you drew your music then from your father, I guess we'd say. Is that true?
I did.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
I had one brother who was 2 years older than me.
What do you feel is your first recollection of doing any singing at all or yodeling? When do you think how old you were, maybe?
Probably, well, I would sing around, our house and outside. I didn't know the neighbors were listening. And I found out recently that they would take their chairs. This was after we moved to a house. It was the last house out of town. It was up on a hill. They couldn't see me, but they could hear me. So they would take their chairs out in the late afternoons and listen to me sing. Is that crazy or what?
But you were on a farm, weren't you, singing maybe to the animals, pretending you were on the radio?
Oh yeah, I used to do that I would do that. Who told you that?
I just did my research.
Oh yeah, I like to go outside and sing to whoever wanted to listen or whatever wanted to listen.
So you were probably 4 or 5 years old then when you were already singing. Oh
yes, my parents said I was yodeling by the time I was walking. They had a record player, and they played Jimmy Rogers' Yodeling Cowboy.
Okay.
And that was one of the first songs I knew.
Right. So then your mother, obviously, and your dad, did they encourage you in your singing and yodeling?
Well, they didn't push me. I pushed them to let me go sing. And my mother always went with me, though.
Was there a Saturday morning radio program that your mother took you to?
Yes. There was one in McAlester, Oklahoma, and a KTMC in McAlester. And I did that every Saturday. I had a little 15-minute show, and my music teacher would play piano. She'd play 2 solos, and I would sing 3 songs. And I was 15 when I started doing that.
Did you ever come to Tulsa radio stations to audition?
I did, because someone, I guess this was in St. Louis. My mother and I were visiting my aunt, and someone heard me and said, "This kid can sing. You need to take her to radio stations for auditions." Everything was live back then.
Yep. And so in Tulsa radio, do you remember if it was KVOO or what station you might have auditioned for in Tulsa?
KVOO and I think KTUL. And I did sing one time in Poto. Leon McAuliffe was playing. And so he invited me to come and sing in Tulsa with his band, just be a guest.
How exciting. And then, again, you're about 15 years old.
Wasn't very old. 15 or 16.
Yeah.
I graduated from high school at 16.
Oh, was that early for you, at 16, graduating from high school?
Yeah, it was fairly early. Yeah, my brother, he failed a year, and I passed 2 grades in a year, and I caught up with him.
Oh.
So from 6th grade on, we were in the same class.
Oh, my. When you were in Tulsa, you made some visits to Cain's Ballroom?
Oh, yes. I would get my mother to take me out there every day so we could see Johnny Lee Wills.
And
Bob had was already in California then making movies. But my daddy and I went to take me back to Oklahoma. When it came to Talihina, we went to every showing of that movie. That was the one with Bob Wills.
So then when you were in Cain's Ballroom, you had to stand there and say, "Man, I'd love to be on that stage."
Yes.
Someone else who did that very same thing was Tommy Alsop. Did you ever meet him or know him?
Oh, yes, quite well. He had a studio in Odessa, Texas.
Yep.
And I did some recordings out there.
Oh, really?
He was the best musician, one of the best I've ever known.
We have his interview here on voicesofoklahoma.com, and he became a member of Johnny Lee Wills and all the boys.
I guess so. I didn't know him then. I didn't know him until we were living in Odessa.
His age, he was born in 1931, and you were born in 1930, so you guys were about the same age. And then another interview I did was with Curly Lewis, fiddle player. Did you get around him?
Yes. If we went to Tulsa to play, we would always play at Cain. This is while I was with the Bob Wills band.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I knew Curly.
We have his interview, too. When he was 11, he won the Bob Wills Fiddle Contest, and then later on he spent 6 months with Bob Wills in California, but then he became more identified with Johnny Lee Wills. I've interviewed Rwanda Jackson. Were you ever around her at all? She's younger.
Not really that much. I remember going to something, they have Bob Wills Day at the Capitol, in Oklahoma City. And I remember talking with her then, but I never did know her that well. She was younger than I was.
Yeah.
But I was a fan of hers.
So you graduate from high school when you're 16 years old. What year was that?
1947.
And then where did you go? What did you do?
I went to college in Denver, Colorado Women's College.
And why did you go? Why did you go there?
Well, because they sent some of their catalogs out, and when I read it, I still have that one. I just knew I had to go to that school.
Did you like it there?
I loved it. And while I was there, I was on that Ted Mack's Original Amateur Hour. That was a big deal back then.
Yes, it sure was. How did that audition go with Ted Mack?
Well, I just had to go to a lot of auditions, but I got on the show.
So in 1947, 48?
Yes.
You sang country western music out there in Denver. Were they used to hearing country western music?
Well, not like in Oklahoma and Texas. But the girls really liked my singing at my college. Mm-hmm. I would always have to sing at their house meetings.
Oh, yeah. You're probably the only one in the world who yodeled in the Denver Metro Opera House.
You know what? I've yodeled in places that you would not believe. In the basement of the Oklahoma's Capitol. I've forgotten who had me to yodel there. Some guy that had a newspaper, Eddie someone. I can't remember his name right now. But you just wouldn't believe all the places.
Even in many churches, I'll bet, right?
Christ 40 Acres, that's down here, or pretty close to here. And I used to go out there and sing and yodel.
So then you complete your first year of college. I guess that would be 1948. Then you decided you wanted to go to Nashville. Tell me about that Nashville trip.
Well, it's almost unbelievable, but I kind of bugged my parents to let me go to Nashville. So my mother and I went, and I was dressed up in my cowgirl clothes and walked into WSM, and somehow Preston was working there. She's a secretary. Anyway, they got me an audition, and they asked if I could go on their Noontime Neighbor Show that day. Wow. And I did. And they called, Jack Stapp called and got me a spot on the Opry for that Saturday night. George Morgan was the guest that day when I was on Noontime Neighbors.
So you thought, well, this is really easy, didn't you then, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I suppose that happened so fast you didn't have time to be nervous.
No, I didn't really get nervous back then. Very seldom.
Yeah. I guess you had some...
it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And I loved it so. I couldn't believe I was doing all of that.
Did you audition with Zeb Turner and the boys who backed Red Foley?
Yes.
And then didn't they ask you to go on the Noontime Neighbor Show at 12:30? That was about an hour away,
Yes.
wasn't it?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Remember what you sang?
Yes. Probably I Want to Be a Cowboy Sweetheart, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
But they hired you on the spot. The program director was Jack Stapp.
He told me to go back to college and come back the next summer. You know, I was pretty young. Said you're too young to go on the road. Said go back to college and come back next summer.
Yeah, but that weekend, then he put you on the Grand Ole Opry on Saturday night.
Did. Yes.
You're 17 years old, are you?
Yes.
And then you had known of Ray Acuff, and that must have been, you rehearsed with him. That must have been quite a thrill.
He was very nice. I had only heard him on the radio, and it was a thrill for me to meet him. My son John here is asking me if I was the only one from Oklahoma who was on Grand Ole Opry. First one. I don't know.
Well, you had to be one of the first ones, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I can't think of anybody else who was on there either from Oklahoma.
Yeah, we're talking about 1948, 49?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I still can't believe that, but it happened. And I can prove all of it.
Yeah. Yes, you can. So then that all happened to you Saturday night, that whole weekend. And
yes.
So then didn't you go back Monday morning? What did you do?
Well, I talked to Jack Stapp, and I was still just 17. And he said I was entirely too young to go on the road, to go back to Oklahoma, go back to college, and come back the next summer.
Is that what you did? You went back to college for a year and then came back the next summer?
That's what I did.
And then tell me the good things that happened to you then when you went back.
I went back, and I got a regular job, you know, as a Martha White, being on that show. They changed my name from Ramona Reed to Martha White, so I was Martha White for a while.
And Martha White Flower was the primary sponsor on the Grand Ole Opry and 3 radio shows.
Yes.
And so they got to name you Martha White.
Yes.
Well, you were pretty young, and you were making some money here, weren't you?
Not bad.
Do you have any idea? Do you have any idea what kind of money you were making then?
They had to pay you like $10 for everything, but you could do a lot with $10 back then. So every time you were on, you made $10. I mean, that doesn't sound like much nowadays, but you could do a lot with it back then.
Absolutely. How did your family? How did your family handle your money? Did they say, "Oh, this is all for you," or "This goes into the family pot," or how did they handle your money?
No, they gave it all to me.
So then, were you were able to buy clothes and cars, or what did you do with that money?
Well, my daddy got me a car for at Christmas time. They let me go home, and so Daddy got me. This was almost 1950, and he got me a 1950 blue Ford convertible, and it was nice.
What?
And most girls didn't even know how to drive, but I didn't either. But I learned.
What brand? What brand of car? What kind of car was it?
Ford. A Ford.
A Ford. A 1950 Ford. Wouldn't you love to have that now?
Oh yeah, it was a nice car. Like I said, most girls didn't even know how to drive.
No, but they sure liked to ride with you, didn't they?
Oh, yes, yeah.
But did that bother you? Nobody knew your real name, and they called you Martha and Martha White, but did that bother you?
Yeah, it did. But anyway, it was still nice. You know, it was a job, and for a girl, it paid pretty well, I guess.
Yes. And then you understand you shared a dressing room with Minnie Pearl?
I did. And I have a picture somewhere. I'm looking at it right now. There weren't any other girls on the Opry at that time. I mean, there had been some, and there were some later, but there weren't any then.
Isn't she the one that had a sale price in her hat all the time?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Did she?
She was very nice. You know, she had gone toward Belmont College for Women, and I'd gone to a girls' school, so we could talk.
Mm-hmm. What classes did you take when you were in college?
Well, I had to take certain ones, but gosh, you're taking me back a long time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I took history. I think it was Latin American history or something. I don't know why I took that, but I did.
Yeah.
English I always liked.
You know, you got to admire you because a lot of musicians, once they got into the world of music, there's no way they would have gone to college, but you did, and you didn't drop out or anything. I mean, you did that for 2 years, so that young people ought to listen to that.
Well, I didn't get much sleep, let's put it like that, back then.
No.
Had to get up really early and go sing early because, you know, at 5:45 in the morning. And on Sunday morning, we had a 6:30 religious program.
So I guess you then were in Nashville and Martha White for what, a couple of years?
A little over a year.
So was that all a good time for you? You enjoyed it? And were you there alone? Did your mother, was she there with you?
No. My mother stayed there with me at first, and then they sent back my brother with me to teach me how to drive that new car. And he stayed with me for quite some time.
Any other names that we might know that you interacted with beyond what we've just talked about? Anybody else that you may have been singing with back in those days?
My son said Ernest Tubb. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
I knew all of them. You know, on Saturday night, I would see all of them and talk to them. And Hank Williams was on, too, that time. Hank Williams Sr. I'd sit by his wife sometime and we'd talk.
And he was real nice, huh?
Yeah. Everybody was always pretty nice to me.
You must have pinched yourself many, many times. I can't believe this is happening to me.
I don't know. I just took it for granted, I guess, you know.
But when you look back on it now, and you've done that many, many times, don't you just marvel at the lucky and the fortunate break? But you were good. You were very talented, but you were in the right place at the right time.
I guess I was when I think back about it.
Did you ever sing religious music?
Well, yeah, we had a religious program on Sundays, the same band. And I used to go out to Christ 40 Acres and sing every year for them. It's a place way out in the country. And I did a gospel album with some of the Texas Playboys.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, because every Thursday, someone said it was on Wednesday, but it was Thursday. That's the way I remember it. That they did sacred songs, the Bob Wills guys did. In 1984, did an album with a lot of them. My son John is sitting here close by, and he's reminding me of things I need to tell you.
Yes, that's good. I'm glad he is. Right.
He was just a young boy then, but he remembers.
How many children did you have?
I had 4.
Okay. Did any of them inherit your music talent?
John, can you talk to him just a sec?
Oh, I was wondering if you and your siblings inherited your mother's musical ability.
Yeah, we all play some, a little bit. And my brother played quite a bit, and then I play some, and my sisters still play in church right now.
Okay.
They play piano in church, I think.
Okay, great. What did you sing, or did you play, or guitar, or what?
Yeah, we all sing, and I play fiddle.
Oh.
And my sisters play piano. My brother played guitar and banjo, mandolin.
Yeah. Well, that had to be a thrill that you inherited that gene. Okay, Ramona. Then after you spent a year or so in Nashville, then where did you go? You went back home again, or what?
Yes, I went back home for a few months in the summer. Then I was trying to figure out what to do with my career. And Dallas, they had a lot of good bands on their radio station, and I thought that might be a good place to go. So I just go to Dallas. I had some relatives there, and before I knew it, anyway, I got in the parade. Bob Wills had just moved to Dallas, and they had a big parade downtown. And my girlfriend and I, we squeezed into that parade. And went on out to the ranch house. It was brand new. And I met a lot of people. Well, we wound up riding on the stagecoach with some of the Playboys. My car was 1950, and this was 1950, so my car wasn't old, but it stalled or flooded. And so that's how we got on that stagecoach with the Playboys. And they have a picture of us in Turkey, Texas, if you're ever out there.
And so, okay, so he established the Bob Wills Ranch House in Dallas.
Yes.
So you got on a stagecoach with the Texas Playboys, but then somehow you got on the stage to sing for Bob Wills.
Well, Jack Lloyd was their lead singer, and he and Bobby Coper, the steel guy, they got me the audition. So with Bob Wills. So I went out there, and I had to sing about every song I knew. And he would stick there, I don't know, maybe 30 feet away or something like that. And I couldn't tell if he liked what I was doing or not. And I sang just about every song I knew. And he sat there smoking that cigar. But anyway, when I got through, he came backstage and he hired me. He said I was just what he was looking for. Not only sounded, but I looked alike. He wanted a girl singer to look and sound.
My, what a relief. You had no idea if he liked you or not till he came backstage.
I did not know, believe me, until I went back there. But I just did the best I could.
Yes. And so what was Bob Wills like? He was such a charismatic man, but what was he like personally when you were around him?
Well, he was just kind of charismatic, even though you'd been working with him. He could still walk into a room or walk, to go on stage. He'd usually sit and wait in his car a while, and then he'd come on later. It was still, he had that magnetism or something about him. Everybody said that. And for some reason, he seemed to like me, maybe because I could ride a horse, too. They had 3 of their horses out there in the ranch house. Mm-hmm. And I would go out and ride sometimes.
And you yodeled for him, too, I suppose.
Oh, of course. Bob liked yodeling. And I've been called the yodeler's yodeler by another girl yodeler, so I thought that was a real compliment.
Did you travel with Bob Wills?
Oh, yes, I did.
And did that
I had to ride up front. I rode up front. I couldn't go to the back. I couldn't sit back where the boys were. I had my special place up front, unless we were rehearsing a song or something.
Did he tell you to kick off your shoes?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's when I was auditioning. My feet were hurting. I had on high heels. And I finally kicked them off, and I think he liked that.
You keep that part of the act? When he was during the show? Did he say?
Yeah, if I had on high heels, I did. Of course, I had a uniform after I started working with them. I wore boots, And
okay. So, what part of the country were you traveling with him, with Bob Wills?
Well, he always said that he really liked, the Kansas and the Texas and the Oklahoma, Arkansas, certain places. But then I went on tour with them to California and Hollywood. I have some pictures of me in Hollywood. And one of the Eldon Chamblin. Did you ever meet him?
No, I didn't.
He was kind of, you've heard of him though, probably.
Yeah.
The band manager and guitar player, and his wife, she drove out there because they had lived there, and they took a girl my age, so she and I were walking around Hollywood, and I thought I was in heaven walking around.
Okay, again, this is 1950, 51 in there? And
yes.
You're about 18 years old at this point, I guess, right?
Something like that. No, I wasn't 20 yet.
But then you must have come to Tulsa and performed with him on Cain's Ballroom?
Oh, many times. Yeah, but not then, not until after I started singing with Bob. I had not sung at Cain's.
But you did come to Tulsa many times at Cain's Ballroom with Bob Wills.
Yes.
You remember some of the names of the Texas Playboys?
Yeah. Of course, Bobby Cofer was so nice to me. And that's why I still like him and stay in touch. And he's still living. And I've talked to him just recently. And Jack Lloyd was the lead singer then. And Eldon Chamblin and his wife Ruby, they remained friends of mine. And also my son Jim, they were friends of his. The piano player, Peter Elkins, yeah, they were all very nice. And Paul, the drummer, yeah, I used to still see him in Turkey, Texas and places.
Well, it was quite a thrill. And then to be at Cain's Ballroom with Bob Wills, and the place was packed, and here you were from Talihina, Oklahoma.
Yes, from that little town of about 1,058 to be exact at that time.
Did you meet Johnny Lee Wills, Bob's brother?
Yes, at a rodeo. Yeah, they were playing in Claremore. And so I wasn't bashful about going up and to ask if I could sing with someone. So they let me sing with them there.
Oh.
At the parade, and then later on. And he invited me to come be on the radio show.
So you did sing with Johnny Lee Wills on certain shows?
Well, not that many, but I did some, at rodeos if he was playing, before I had met Bob.
They were two different kind of people, though, weren't they? Bob was maybe outgoing and Johnny wasn't? Or what would be the difference between the two?
I would say that Johnny Lee was the friendliest of the two, but someone else might tell you different there.
Bob was more standoffish, maybe?
Well, he was such a famous person that he couldn't stop and visit with everybody. And Johnny Lee did.
Yeah.
And somehow I noticed that, which I admired, Johnny Lee for.
You recorded some songs with Bob Wills.
Yes. MGM. I have the record in my house. My son had it framed, and it's in my living room. And it was, I'm tired of living this lie.
And then Little Girl, you recorded?
Little Girl. Yeah. It's on the back of that.
I went on YouTube and I was able to bring you up, and when you were singing that song, I'm Tired of Living This Life, I heard you sing that yesterday when I was getting ready for this. It was fun to hear you sing and how good you were. But there you are on what we now known as YouTube, and you can hear yourself sing. I'm sure you've done that already.
Well, the only thing, I'm my own worst critic, as so many people are, I think, entertainers are. Yeah, that was really a big thrill for me to get to record that with them.
Did you do many just record yodeling records?
No, I didn't. I did Bet My Heart, it had been done before by Laura Lee, and she really did a great job on it. Mine was a little different. There's yodeling, and it's different. But unless you're a yodeler, you may not notice that.
Are you able to do a little yodeling now?
Well, yodelay, yodelo, yodelo-dee, yodelay, yodelo-dee. Did you hear that?
I sure did. That was fun. You know, you are so fortunate. I know you don't want me to tell anybody that you're 90 years old.
Oh, my gosh. Well, you already have, haven't you? Uh-huh.
All right. But your voice is so strong. And when you just did that, that takes strength to be able to yodel. That is pretty amazing. Hey, amazing.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes. Wow.
Well, you don't ever quit. I mean, you've got to practice, keep it up.
Do you do any singing? I mean, for yourself now to kind of keep your voice strong? Do you sing?
I do go outside and sing. I live out in the country.
Yeah.
And so I like to go outside late in the afternoons and sing.
Can you hear a little singing? Just one song? I mean, not a whole song. You don't have to, but kind of do a little verse of some song that you'd like to do here?
Okay, I'm trying to think what song would be best. I know so many.
Okay.
Why should I cry over you, dear, when you never cried over me? You want to take without giving. That's why our hearts disagree. You called our dream world a prison, but from now on, you'll be free. Why should I cry over you when you never cry over me? That's not my best.
Hey, we're all applauding here for you. That was fun.
Well, thank you.
That was fun. Thank you so much. How many years did you travel with Bob Wills?
Well, I like to say off and on for about 20 years. I didn't travel with him that long, like 2 years to start with, and then for special occasions. And I did the deal in Nashville. You know, they had every year. He wanted me to go and sing with them. They were playing for Fan Fest. I think it was Fan Fest, something they were having down there. So that was fun to go do that again. And because everybody in your audience, they were all famous. That was all they had in the audience, other famous people. I don't think I'm famous, but the people were in the audience.
Yeah. When Bob was in the twilight of his career, he called you, didn't he? He wanted you to go back into the RCA studios in Nashville?
Yes.
And you recorded 2 songs, I Bet You My Heart I Love You and Don't Send Him Back to Me.
Yes. But Rusty McDonald wrote Don't Send Him Back to Me, I think. I think I'm right on that.
I think it's a good story how you met your husband. Can you tell us that story?
Oh, yes. I was home. My brother was getting ready to go to Korea. The war was on then. And I wanted to come home and see him. And so I was out driving with my girlfriend, and we drove through the streets of Clayton, which is 25 miles from my hometown. And I saw this good-looking guy standing out in front of this restaurant, and I did a double take. And so when I got back to town, someone was flagging me down and said, there's a soldier wants to meet you here. Said he just got back from Korea and your brother just left for there. So I went in to meet him, and that was my husband.
And his name?
Tim Blair.
Tim Blair. He'd just been in Korea, hadn't he?
Yes, he'd just gotten back from Korea.
Yeah. That's a great story, too. I see you were selected as a member of the Pioneers of Country Music by the Country Music Association of the Grand Ole Opry. Nice honor.
Yes, it was.
And in 2009, you were inducted into the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame with Carrie Underwood and Rocky Frisco.
Yes. And Tommy also led the band for the induction.
How about that? Did they observe your 70th anniversary of your time on the Grand Ole Opry and your 90th birthday? Did they have a tribute to you?
Yeah, last week. I stayed up to listen to it.
You know,
I have a recording of the Opry's tribute, if you'd like to hear that.
Did you hear this?
I heard
It's a recording of the Opry's tribute. Have you heard that?
No, I haven't.
I can play it here. We'll see if it comes across.
All right.
Well, tonight we want to take a moment, wish a very happy birthday to a special member of our Opry family, Miss Ramona Reed. Ramona was only 17 when she first sang here at the Grand Ole Opry. A year later, she became known as Martha White and made appearances every Friday and Saturday night here at the Opry as part of the Martha White portion of the show. And then every morning she was on WSM radio. Well, it wasn't long before she was touring with Bob Wills and his Texas Playboys. And in 2009, Ramona was inducted into the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame, right beside Carrie Underwood. Well, tonight, Ramona's in Southeast Oklahoma. She is still singing and yodeling, and on Monday, she will celebrate her 90th birthday. Ramona, happy birthday from your friends and family here at the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh,
Did you hear that?
Oh, I did. It came through clear. John, thank you for playing that for us. That was wonderful. that was great. That you did that. That was fun to hear. That had to make you feel good and your entire family as well. Congratulations.
It did. I can't believe all these things happened to me.
Yeah.
And they're still happening.
You lived a wonderful, wonderful life. You've set a good example for other young people, in particular for young girls, to fight for what you want, to be aggressive, be bold. What would you say to young people who are interested in music or anything? What do you say to them? Advice?
Well, always be true to yourself and do the best you can and have high morals.
Yeah, that's good advice. How would you like to be remembered?
As someone who loves to sing and loved to yodel and loved life and just had a great life.
Yeah. People ask you, well, what did you do to live to be 90 years old? What do you tell them?
Well, I never did smoke or drink. I don't know if that's...
Lots of coffee.
Lots of coffee. Yeah. I always had high morals, and I don't know. I'm just me.
And I could add to that probably. I mean, you have seem to have a positive outlook and a positive way about you. And that has to go a long way in living a long life. Some people are negative all the time and it wears on them, but you seem to be on the happy side of life.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I've had a good life. I'm thankful.
Well, I want to thank you for sharing your story here with Voices of Oklahoma. And so, as we say goodbye, let's just have you just a verse of a song that you'd say goodbye with. I don't know what that would be. If you think of one, or John can think of one, that would be kind of a nice little parting.
John, what do you think I need to sing? Well, I've known for my yodeling, but I sing other songs too.
Yep.
But yodeling,
oh, that was great. That was great.
Okay.
I wish I could have met you in person, and you make me want to meet you. I wish we could have done this in person, but you did a great job on the phone. And
well, thank you.
the phone line was good. And to you, John, thank you so much for helping me set this thing up. I appreciate it very much.
You're welcome.
Right. So thank you, Ramona. God bless you and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. I loved it.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.